Hi, hello everybody. So, we are now firmly into the 4th week of Destiny Rising. We're closing in on the halfway point for Season 1, and a lot of people are definitely feeling the strain on resources. They are really struggling to get their characters leveled up, especially if they haven't hyper-focused into one unit, and also especially for the people who haven't been playing since day one. And one of the main issues is the fact that we are gated on our upgrade material gates. Basically, everything in this game is just gated on materials. The only increases to either power or like our builds that we can get through basic rewards is getting exotics, getting exotic dupes for upgrades, which we already need other materials for, getting our god roll mythics, which, I mean, this isn't a god roll, so obviously I still have room for improvement there, but like, when I got this cool fee, something that I was really trying to get a god roll on, yeah, this makes a world of difference right here. And getting perfect attributes. And by perfect attributes, I mean, like, 4 out of 4 on the attributes. Not perfect attribute scores, because attribute scores on basic rewards are basically guaranteed to be the minimum possible. And in order to get them any higher, you have to spend refactor materials in order to increase the attribute score to even the 180 baseline for perk level 5. And what all this means is that essentially after you've completed your daily Pinnacle energy, if you have all of the rolls that you need, if you have all the exotics that you need, you're just sitting there waiting. And you can do other stuff, like you can go for other objectives, but if they don't interest you, if the casual modes don't interest you, if hunting triumphs doesn't interest you, you just don't really have a lot to do in the game. And I know a lot of this is by design because it is trying to be a gacha game, but honestly, at this point, I feel like we have gone through enough of this, and especially with the kind of player base that this game has, that the Pinnacle energy system is doing more harm than good. Now, obviously, to preface all of this, I will state, like, the design advantages for an energy system. So, normally, when it comes to gacha games, which I do have a lot of experience in. I have played Genshin Impact, I have played Tower of Fantasy, and I've played Wuthering Waves. And I played Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact very extensively for multiple years. So, just to, like, make sure that I'm not just talking out of my butt here, the goal of an energy system is essentially to make it so that you can get all of your effective grinding and, like, all of your effective playtime done in a relatively short time. So, like, necessarily when it comes to WooBa, I do my daily quest, I do my daily objectives, like the daily activeness, whatever, and I spend my wave plates, which is Wuthering Waves' energy system. And if I complete those 3 things, like, I can save story progression, I can save event progression, I can save all that stuff for later. So if I do all those 3 things, if that's all the time I have for it today, I'm basically done. Okay, and with that in mind, it makes it a very, very casual experience progressing through the game. Okay, the issue when it comes to the energy system in Destiny Rising is that Destiny Rising is not a casual game. Okay, we have gone through enough of this so far. Like, we are firmly within, like, a month through progressing into this game. And especially with the current event that's going on right now, this is not casual friendly whatsoever. I mean, even if we're talking about, like, getting your most effective grinding done in, like, that, but just by spending your energy. Like, when we're talking about the upgrades, obviously, yeah, but just spending your Pinnacle energy, that's not going to get you a god roll mythic weapon. That's not going to get you 4 out of 4 mythic artifacts. And that's also not going to get you all of the exotic drops that you need either. So it's too grindy for, like, a casual pace, like a casual gacha game. And also, it's not casual friendly whatsoever. The amount of people who have been gated on a claim because, like, they just didn't really understand the system whatsoever, the upgrades were not intuitive for them, or they just didn't get the drops that they needed in order to level up their claim, or they were gated on the fact that they weren't able to complete the endgame, which is very restrictive, especially Calamity Ops, which is leaderboard based. If you don't get a high score, especially for solo players as well, because like this is basically impossible for a lot of solo players for a multitude of reasons. Like for one, like they just can't get a coordinated team to get those high score ranks, and it's really, really tight. And like if they're solo queuing, there's just a chance that they load into a team with a player that is just straight up under power, which means that that entire run is essentially dead because they're essentially playing with like 2 out of 3 players. Okay. And that is not casual whatsoever. And the Expanse as well, getting that sub 9 and that sub 7 is not going to be casual for most people. For like good players, obviously, like they could probably do it at a pretty casual pace. Like I got my Expanse clears done at a pretty reasonable pace. I don't have my Yolder done yet because she's under power. And that's like another thing. Because we're so gated on those resources, a lot, like the casual players are the people who are suffering the absolute most from the resource gates right now, because they're the people who don't know the most efficient spending choices. They're the people who don't know like what are the best weapons and characters to invest in, and like there's oftentimes where people just straight up got baited. Like Huckleberry, there are a lot of people who invested into Huckleberry, and then, you know, it comes out a couple of weeks later, or maybe not even a couple of weeks, but like a week later, that the Kulfi plus Partridge Sky combo is doing significantly better than Huckleberry plus Mythic Sword. And, you know, also just like certain characters that they invested in, like if they invested in, I don't know, like any of the 4 stars because they just enjoyed their playstyle, they're gonna have like a significantly more difficult time. And it's not like they can just spend their Pinnacle energy and like get their characters up, because I've already done the calculations. The amount of resources that you need to spend to get a character endgame ready is crazy. Like I have been spending money on this game so that I can build multiple units, so that I can like properly review all of them and build craft for all of them. And I only have my wolf like built for endgame, and not even the full endgame, because when I get to master rank I need a 71k character, so I need to invest in my wolf even more when I get to master rank in Calamity Ops. And my Yolder is still like 500 below where I need her to be for the Expanse. Like I could probably get my sub 5 or like my sub 7 if I like really played out of my mind, but again, that's not a casual pace. And if you're not getting all that stuff, especially in Calamity Ops, like it's definitely not as bad as in the Expanse that it is in Calamity Ops, because like if you like that, it's basically missing 2 keys if you're not getting like the full clears, which that's like a couple of clusters and a couple of other materials. That's not going to make a giant difference. But Calamity Ops, you don't get like that rank up, you don't get like a higher rank, you are missing out on a lot of clusters, okay? Because you've got the rank up rewards, which they do reset like significantly slower, but like if you are in, let's say you're stuck on Specialist 2, like not getting into the higher ranks, that's literally just getting you out of another incandescence cluster, which you need a lot of to master your characters. But even then, like the people who are in like Expert 2 to Master, like if you're not in Master 2 rank, like in the top 50% or higher, you're not getting that extra cluster per reset. You're not getting the extra exotic weapon infusion cores per reset. And that's going to put you significantly further behind. Like being in Master 1 in the Unchanged Zone gives you 10 less cores and 1 less incandescence cluster every single reset for Calamity Ops. The cores don't matter as much because that's like essentially just a few claims, but I mean like obviously every little thing matters, but like losing out on an extra cluster, that's gonna suck for a lot of people, especially if it's like multiple clears or like multiple resets afterwards, because there's only so many people who can be in that top 50% of Master 2. So the majority of the people are gonna be stuck getting like that 5 incandescence clusters. And because this is like the only regular source, like we will be getting some more from events, but for a lot of people that's only going to be patching up a little bit. I mean, like this is the first event like after or since like the raid events, and again, like it's also only happening like another 4 days and 16 hours from now, and like they're only getting 4 clusters. Like for most people, this isn't going to make a giant difference in the amount of characters that they can build or the like peaks of investment that they can make in characters. But I mean, that's just straight up the like lockout resources. Even just talking about Pinnacle energy, legitimately, if there are so many people right now that are literally just gated on power right now because they didn't know all the best, or even that they weren't even playing since day one. Like they just don't have the power requirements to clear the end game. And even if they did, like, what happens as soon as like the next end game resets? You know, a whole month from now, like as soon as we get that mid-season update, Void's gonna be out, and Impact is likely gonna be out with it. So like, what happens to all the people who like hyper invested into Gwyn, who got like their 71k Gwyn because they were going for like those high ranks and Calamity Ops? All of a sudden, she's likely on the bench, and now they have to build either a brand new character or like hyper invest in another character in order to get their Calamity Ops clears. And they just straight up might not have even the Pinnacle energy related resources for it. Like, this is not a casual pace whatsoever. You cannot progress in this game at a casual pace. So the Pinnacle energy is not gaining like the best players, like the grinders, from like getting the best stuff. If anything, it's gaining the casual players from actually participating in playing the game. And like, this end game grind, this end game slog has been a major dampening on the player base. And I can tell like straight up that there are like much less people who are engaged with Destiny Rising in general, because it's not just my channel, but like basically every single channel covering Destiny Rising, viewers are down. Even the like new event, the day one event, there was less attention on that from like a lot of people than the like unofficial day one for the like lower difficulty Monolith's Fall. And it's likely just due to the fact that a lot of people just like finished up that campaign. They like tried progressing a little bit further and it was like, oh well, I guess I just can't really do all that much anymore. And you know, maybe they tried with the basic rewards and then they just realized, oh man, this actually isn't benefiting me all that much. If anything, I'm just getting more like more weapons, more exotics on my account for characters that I can't use. Or even if they are for characters I can use, I can't level up these weapons because I don't have the materials for them. And it's going to be multiple days worth of like grinding and multiple weeks worth of grinding. Not even grinding, just like spending your lockout resources to get just like these characters and these weapons leveled up. And again, it's harming the casual players even more because they are just progressing slower because they don't have the like time or dedication to like go for crazy clears on the Expanse or for crazy clears on Calamity Ops. And therefore they're getting out of even more materials. And if they didn't just straight up didn't know like what the best options were and they invested in poorly, that could set people back multiple weeks worth of resources straight up right there. I mean, like getting Huckleberry to Catalyst 2, like Catalyst 2 with 4 Catalyst boosts, that's like 150 or so exotic infusion cores. If you're doing like just regular Pinnacle claims, like discarding the 3 times a week where we get like 10, that's almost freaking 40 Pinnacle claims. Yeah, I did that math right. Like that's like 30 to 40 Pinnacle claims. So that's freaking insane for only getting 6 Pinnacle claims per day. And that's not even counting like the fact that they only get so many Catalyst materials per week. They only get like so many just Pinnacle energy per week in general. And again, it's not even really a problem that's like, oh yeah, just spend more. Because like, I've been a spender. And all that's really done is made it so that I can have like 1 character built and like 1 character barely built. Instead of just having only 1 character built. Like, that's basically my experience with it whatsoever. As somebody who's been a spender. And not somebody who's just been buying out the black market every single day. So I firmly believe that removing the Pinnacle energy system and making everything just like straight up grindable is going to be a net positive. And the main reason why, and especially because like this game, it's not gathering the gacha audience. Like, I've done multiple polls on my stream and my channel to determine like what the primary audience of Destiny Rising is. And it's like more than 80% is just Destiny players. And if you take a look at the wider gacha space, you know, like the people who are talking about like the biggest gacha games, you know, talking about Wuthering Waves, Umumusume Pretty Derby, upcoming games that, you know, sometimes they remove the gacha, like Duet Night Abyss, Ananta, like exciting stuff. There's nobody talking about Destiny Rising. Like, pretty much the only big gacha CC, like the only semi-big gacha CC who actually talked about Destiny Rising and is actually doing dedicated stuff for Destiny Rising, even freaking put out a video on it, is Mtashed, who was a previous Destiny player. Like, this has literally no draw to like the casual gacha audience whatsoever. And I mean, it makes sense. I literally just laid out everything, like every single reason. Like, it's way too sweaty for like anything casual. It's literally hitting like the worst of both worlds. Like, you've got the energy system limiting the people who want to play like dedicated, who want to play it like a Destiny game because they're Destiny players. And it's also like the game is too sweaty for people who just want to like log in, do the events, and do the dailies and occasionally clear the end game. It's too sweaty for them. So it's neither party is happy. And originally I was just saying like they gotta make a choice, like whether or not they want to like go in on the casual audience or go in on like the dedicated audience. But like straight up, due to the demographics that I know of and like the polls that I did, like the poll on my stream, it was like over 500 votes. So definitely not an infinitesimally sample size. And those are all like the dedicated people who are like actually active in this community. So like straight up, like go all in on the Destiny. Like, remove Pinnacle energy and like just do what Duet 9 Abyss did. Like, literally, if the devs have the balls to do this, like just get rid of Pinnacle energy, make literally everything grindable, including characters, and primarily monetize the game through cosmetics and like pay to progress. And that's it. Like, if they do that, I sincerely believe this game will actually like blow up. Because this game, I was talking about this with like my raid team last night. It's 2 patches away from like being the best thing ever. But it's also like 2 patches away from fizzling out. Because like I said, like there is people who are looking at this and wanting it to be good. But there's also just not enough trust in there. And the systems in this game are like literally pushing down. It's literally putting a dampening on its primary audience. And like this game is already poised for like that kind of model. Like if you literally just make it to where people can farm Lumia leaves and like it's prime, like look at all this. These are all paid exclusive cosmetics. All right, we literally had an event where like the whole goal of it is to like pay $20 for a skin, or pay like $20 for another skin, and then pay like a little less than $20 for this skin, $25 actually, and also like all the extra cosmetics that go along with it. This would be enough. Especially if people like don't feel as limited with their wallets, and if they're happy players as well. Like Destiny 2 in its heyday was primarily getting its revenue from like cosmetic sales from the Eververse. Like the expansions were hardly factored into it at all. I mean, maybe like a small portion, but it was primarily through the cosmetic sales in the stores. Like happy players are happy payers. And right now, I'm finding it like fewer and fewer people who are like having reasons to be happy playing this game, because they are Destiny players. Okay, they want to just grind. Okay, Pinnacle energy in this game equals more money. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, what happens when they lose that pair? Okay, like they could get somebody who would spend money for Pinnacle energy, but then they're losing like 10 people who could have spent money on cosmetics. There's already people who are like kind of burning out of this game. I mean, like I see it in the analytics across like all of the videos on every single channel that's covering Destiny Rising. Views are down across the board. It's not just because like it's post-launch period, because like we had a huge jump in viewership when that Season 1 released. And people saw that Season 1 release and they saw like, oh, well, I guess there's not really that much new to do. And like it just that's kind of what people feel right now. Like the amount of stuff in this game and the quality of the stuff in this game is not enough to put up with the Pinnacle energy system. Like there's only so many like what's the word? There's only so many concessions that players will make depending on the game quality. If the game is really, really good and they're having a lot of fun with it, players will make concessions. And that happens with a lot of gacha games. Like, people will put up with the gacha model because the game is just that good. Okay, but there's not enough people who are confident in Destiny Rising being good right now to, like, put up with stuff like that. And, like I said, the main audience is Destiny players. Like, more than 80%. And, like, it's basically already primed for this kind of deal. They've already been working to, like, limit a lot of the paid options more, because, like, they put a weekly limit on the energy supply. Like, every single other gacha, you can, like, get 3 days worth of energy by spending every single day. Okay, the challenger keys are a bit more egregious, but, like, when it comes to a lot of things, they are really, like, restrained on a lot of the, like, pay to progress stuff. But legitimately, I firmly believe, like, from here on out, like, Pinnacle energy is a net negative across this game, especially because it's a casual system that only harms casual players right now. And it makes the experience even worse for the dedicated players. Like, this benefits nobody in this audience. And, like, beyond that, like, beyond just the Pinnacle energy, the amount of, like, daily XP gates, daily progression gates on everything, it just does not feel good, okay? When it comes to the casual modes, like, you play Iron Bar 5 times, you play Sparrow Racing 5 times, you play Shadow Shaper Duels 5 times, like, you know what? Then you're done. You don't get any more. Like, no weekends where you're just, like, grinding PvP every single day and just having a bunch of runs with your friends, because, like, you do those 5 games, you're out of rewards. Sparrow Racing, you do those 5 games, you're out of rewards. And the destinations, like, sure, they, like, raise the cap, but, like, you could literally just be, like, grinding your XP in destinations, like, oh, well, I guess I'm done for the day. And again, like, I'm willing to wager this actually harms the casual audience more, because when it comes to the casual audience, they're likely going to be more busy on a regular basis and have, like, larger spurts. Okay, but then they get capped out on those larger spurts, like, during a weekend. But the people who have, like, all this time throughout the entire week, for, like, whatever reason, like, maybe they just have easier lives, they're not feeling those caps nearly as much, because, like, they have the time to invest every day to hit those caps, unlike the more casual people who maybe only have enough time to spend their Pinnacle energy and do their dailies. So, like, no system in this game right now is benefiting the casual player. I really, really want this game to improve, and that's why I'm recording this video right now. And I've probably talked to death on this topic already, but I feel like right now I'm confident enough to, like, take a real stance against this, like, the current state of this system right now and this progression system right now. But that's about all I have to say on this topic. If you are enjoying my coverage of Destiny Rising and would like to keep up with all of the best guides, news, and updates through this game, and, you know, keep up with the community discussion, be sure to subscribe to my channel, as that will be the best way for you to keep up with all things regarding Destiny Rising. And, like, I would like to hear all your thoughts in the comments. If you think I'm wildly off the mark on the Pinnacle energy system, or if you, like, 100% agree with me, or if you think, like, some takes were good, some takes were bad, like, discuss it all in the comments below. And I'm really passionate about this game. I mean, mostly because I'm a Destiny player, and I'm sure a lot of people who are playing this game, or, like, who just play Destiny in general, they just have, like, this shadow in their mind of just Destiny. Like, this is probably one of the most captive audiences that I have ever seen, because I know, because I feel it myself, and I've talked to other people who feel it. Like, there's just nothing else out there that, like, really scratches the Destiny itch. Like, you can play other games, like, I've been playing other games, because a lot of the time, no Destiny has just been, like, better than, like, experiencing the state of Destiny that it has, like, gone through. But again, there's just nothing else out there that scratches that itch. Like, and it might be unhealthy. I mean, hell, it probably is unhealthy, but there's an audience for this, and they just have to capitalize on it. And if they do, if the devs have the balls to make, like, difficult choices in restructuring the game, I really believe that this game will become something special. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you next time.